Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning, Jim. So finally this place is open. This place being this park. Name of the park is Bungkum Park. In Thai it's Suan Puk. Suan Puk. So สวัสดีตอนเช้าทุกคนสวัสดีHet and Yang. How's everybody doing? It's a beautiful day here, which is why I decided to come here. Instead of stay inside or go to Starbucks or something, I thought, you know what? This place is finally open, and you know, they're still not done with it. Look at what they're doing. They're putting in new, they're sodding the grass here. And I mean, it's taken months. They've had months and months and months. I don't know what the holdup is, but I mean, to me, the place looks the same. Maybe, I don't know, maybe it's a little greener, but it's always been very green to me. Yeah, I can do without the, you know, the dance music and all that they have, but you know, people are doing aerobics, and it won't be for too long, so it doesn't bother me. And the ladies are nice over there. I've met them several times. They've been in my videos. They've been in streams before. It's a nice place to walk around. And it's not too far from the house, so that makes it a plus. But fortunately, this place is finally opened up. It's a good place to just chill out. This is a park. The most popular video I had was made, I don't even know now, probably about 8 years ago. There's almost 900,000 views on it. It's about my Thai wife, and basically it was about a movie. I was talking about a movie where this guy had come over to Thailand from the UK, like a squirrel right there. And basically he spent every penny he had to keep the girl, and she ended up bailing on him because he didn't want to help, he didn't have any more money. He was basically useless to her. And I did a video here in this park. I'm quality is far worse than the quality now, but the video did very well. But this is the park that I did the video in. So anyway, today we're going to talk about the differences. And I know we've talked about these before, but there are a few in here that nobody has thought about, or few people have thought about. I didn't think about. We're going to talk about the difference between when I first started coming over here, when I first moved here, 1995, until now, and some of the differences. And obviously, you know, the cost of living is slightly different, and, you know. Let me see if I can get this here. Oh, yeah, I blend in here, green with green. Yeah, all right. Well, anyway, I'm gonna do a little walk around this place once I'm finished talking, which won't be too long. I'm gonna do a little walk around this place and go out. This place is right, if there's anybody here who's in the stream, and I know there are a few people who have watched before, then you know that like right over here is my little coffee place, and there's a bunch of food, and over here is where the little market is on this street, and that other street, and this street right here. There's a market. I mean, it's just basically fresh fruit, fresh veg everywhere. And, you know, I come here every so often and stream, walk around. But this place is, you know, I mean, I don't want to say it's back to normal 100% because people are still wearing masks, which, before I get started, for the life of me, I don't really understand why so many people, so many Thai people, still are wearing their masks. It's like, when's it going to be okay? Is it ever going to be okay to take off your mask and walk around? I mean, it's not like most Thais are, unless they're with their friends, or they're in some place where they're forced to be close to each other. It's not like Thai people are hanging on each other all the time and they're all over each other that don't know each other. Maybe in the bars, but so I don't get it, you know. I mean, and there's people out here right now. You might see some when I start walking around. There's people out here, they're running and they've got their mask on. They're walking like at a fast pace and they've got their masks on. So I don't know what gives. You know, I was just thinking about it this morning, how the reason that I came here, one of the reasons I came here was I thought, you know what, fresh air is going to be better for me than sitting inside Starbucks and sitting inside my little studio. It's always better to get fresh air. It's always better to be out en natural. So, but before we get started, thank you to everybody who helps support the channel. I appreciate it. If you are subscribed, great. If you're not, do me a favor and subscribe. Click the notification bell. If you like this, oh, what's that over there? Big bird. Big bird, big bird. You can barely see it here. If I can get this to go up here. I don't know why. Yeah, you can barely see it up there. I don't know what it is. Some kind of an egret or something? I don't know. You can see it behind the palm tree, just a little to the right. Anyway, smash the like button if you haven't done so already. Good morning. There he goes right there. There's birds all over the place. Good morning, Gennaro. Good morning, everybody. Beautiful, beautiful day here. But I wanted to talk about the differences. Like I said, there's been a lot of changes. And, you know, I asked my wife, what are some of the changes that you know of in Thailand? She said, well, the internet is better. Well, I think the internet is better everywhere. So, you know, although that's great, when I came here, it was the modem. And, you know, I think it was the modem in a lot of places, even in the United States. Now, what I will say is that in the United States when I left, I would say the internet was better in the United States than it is in Thailand. However, now I think the internet is better here than it is in the United States. Sawadee Kap. Lots of people walking around, and a little bit of the problem here with this park right now is that since they're sodding and they're constantly irrigating, or what do you call it, spraying the water. So the sod turns into mud, and then there's grass, and like right over here, you see this light grass, right, this patch in front. I was walking through there, and it's like, you're slipping and sliding because of the mud. I don't know why they're doing it the way they've done it. I don't know why it's taken so long, but yeah, you know, I remember when I left, I was using, when I left America, I was using a Motorola phone, and it was one of those big bricks. I had some program where it was like $30 a month, and I got 50 minutes or something. I didn't have to pay for the phone because I was on a program, you know, that kind of thing. And to be fair, in Thailand, you know, very few people had mobile phones then. After a few trips, I started seeing some changes. I started seeing more and more Thais with phones. And the internet just was getting better a little bit. I don't think that the internet's really gotten all that much better up until about 10 years ago, maybe 15, I don't know, but about 10, to where it's gotten really, really good. Where there's not a lag when you have, if you remember, it used to be, you know, that you would watch YouTube. You'd watch YouTube, and you know, you'd constantly get a lag, and you'd have to go and pull the little slider back so that you could watch, and that, you know, you'd hope that in time it would get to where it would be completely full and you could watch the whole video without any kind of a lag. That's how it was in the United States, and that's how it was here. And I've said it before, but you know, back in 95, 94 even, there wasn't good enough internet for me to trust it and to be able to use it very easily. It was very, very slow because of the modem. So when I would get something from the girl who worked for me, the lady who worked for me, she would send over some kind of a copy of some artwork or something. And she'd say, what do you think about this? They want to know, how much is this going to cost to print out this? And can we do it in 3-color and blah, blah, blah. And so I would sketch everything out, and then I would fax it back to her. And because the fax machines are in black and white, it was very difficult. But we would talk about it over the phone, and I would get one of those Atari cards. So here's the phone service again. This is when like net to phone first came out, and you know, if you guys remember, if some of you remember, and it was terrible service, really. The net to phone was just horrible. It didn't work worth a shit. And I couldn't do what I'm doing now. I couldn't stream. There's no way I'd be able to stream. I mean, streaming hasn't been around that long, maybe 3-4 years to where it's been pretty good. And it's just gotten increasingly better. But that's how I used to do business. When I'd come over here on trips in the beginning, I just used a fax machine. So definitely the internet has improved, but it's improved everywhere. But the good thing is that here in Thailand, I think the internet is probably as good as just about anywhere. There's probably a few places that are better, but I mean, you can't complain about the internet service here, for the price especially. I pay, well, now it's about $23 a month. And we have internet service in the house for $23 a month. You know, as many people as you want can log in. And the streaming, sometimes it costs a little bit more, but they always have these deals where for less than $5 you get 100 gigabytes of bandwidth. Now, there's no way that I had that back in 95 or 2000, 2005. There was nothing like that. And obviously the phones are different, phones are better, but they've gotten better everywhere. But they have especially gotten better here, and they have made Thailand, I think it's made Thailand a bit of a force, at least in Southeast Asia. So that's good. Now, I do have some notes. I'm gonna have to look at them because I don't want to wing it. Now, when I first started coming over here, here's the difference right away. The baht was pegged, it was like pegged at 25 to the dollar. That's what it had been for years, and that's just how it seemed it was going to be. And then the next thing you know, about 5 years in, it flew up to like 55, 56 to the dollar. So that's very different, and obviously now it's a little higher. But I don't know that that's really unexpected, you know. Maybe. I mean, if the dollar it completely collapses, then maybe things get different here. I don't know, but we'll see. So those are two things. The internet and the phones, the phone service. I mean, you can't ask for better phone service, really. I mean, here you can get fantastic service just about everywhere. If you guys think about all the places that I've streamed, I mean, I've streamed in Myanmar and in some really wild places, in Cambodia, in some pretty crazy places. Many places. I've streamed on trains, and in Thailand, for the most part, you know, you have your patches, but for the most part, the service here has been really, I don't know anywhere where the service has been better. So, you know, you can't complain about that. So there are two things that have changed from 95. One thing that people don't really think about, or at least I didn't think about, you know, they're talking about 30 to 40 million tourists coming like in the next year or two, and how in 2019 there was 40 million tourists. Well, take a wild guess how many tourists there were in 95, 94, 95, 96, that area. Because it's hard to believe the difference in how much tourism has grown here just since I've been here, and that was kind of shocking to me. So if anybody wants to take a guess, be my guest, and don't forget to leave a thumbs up, please. I appreciate that. Gennaro, what service provider do I like? AIS, and the reason is AIS, and I don't know about some of the other ones, but I mean, we've had DTAC, I've had True. I can't stand True. True is like my least favorite of everything. I don't have cable because I don't want to deal with True. I have True Internet because it was really the only one at the time when we started using the internet in our house and in the other place that we had. And it's very inexpensive, and while I bitched about it in the beginning, they have progressed by leaps and bounds, and their internet service has gotten superb for the most part. I mean, once in a while we have a little problem, but if we do, it's usually only for a couple of minutes. And then if there is one that seems to be going on for a period of time, it's either just in our village because for whatever reason the cables in the village need some work or something like that, but they get it up like within an hour. And compared to how it used to be, it's fantastic now. It's very stable for the most part. So yeah. Good morning, good morning. Oh, look at this. We got a couple little buddies. Well, the good thing is that if you have, like, I used to have a pay plan where I paid every month. And I just thought, you know what, I don't want to have to remember to pay for it. Now I just put some money on the phone. I always have money on my phone. I can use it. What's really good is I connect, and like I've said, and here's another thing that's just changed, is obviously the technology. Technology is always changing everywhere, so it's not so surprising. But what is surprising is that, and I've said this before, if you're using a service like Line, hey Patty Bob, what's happening? Good to see you here. If you connect your Line account to your bank account, you know, you add 500 baht. Then, you know, like the other day, I'm like, ah, shit, I don't have that much cash. And I thought, guess what? I don't need cash. I don't need much cash. I had like 200 baht, and I thought, do I want to spend the 200 baht, or do I want to get it, use it like to buy a meal when I get home at the noodle shop across the street? So I thought, I really don't want to. Well, guess what? First of all, you can get a Rabbit card. But your Rabbit card is connected to your Line account. So when you go into the subway, let's say you have 500 baht on your Rabbit card, or on your Line account, sorry. It's in your Line Pay. So then what happens is you take the Rabbit Pay, you go up to the SkyTrain, you tap the card on the on the turnstile, and then it takes it out of your Line Pay. So let's say that the charge is 30 baht. Well, then it takes 30 baht out of your Line Pay. So it basically uses Line to pay that. You can pay your electric bill with your Line. You can add money to your phone with Line. You can transfer money to other people with Line. So the Line technology is fantastic. And that comes from Japan, I believe. But I thought somebody told me it comes from somewhere else. I thought it came from Japan, but maybe it's Korea. I don't know. I don't remember. Andy, what's happening? So here you are now. You know, you think about it. In the 90s, and let's say all the way back to as long as you can remember, people used to think, oh, Thailand, oh yeah. Well, they don't, and me, I used to think, oh, they don't speak English here. Well, they still don't really speak great English here. You know, their English leaves something to be desired. How am I going to do this here? There we go. But the technology has really progressed, and so that's why when it comes to internet, phone, the technology like line pay, you can't go wrong. I don't see anything in the United States like that. When I want to pay for if I wanted to pay for Starbucks, I wanted to pay for some little vendor, there could be a vendor over here. I don't have a card, I don't have anything on me, I got no cash, no card, and I just pay right through my phone. I've talked about that. So the technology in Thailand has really went forward, and maybe that has something to do with the Chinese influence, with Japan. You know, they're just trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they're doing a good job with it. So those are the other things. But nobody answered me about the tourism question. And I mean, you know, take a guess without looking at the internet. How many people were coming here as tourists? How many people were coming here as tourists? God darn it. Dang it. I'm trying to get this thing squared. There we go. How many people came here in tourists in, say, 1995 versus how many came in 2019 or who are coming, say, this year? It might surprise you. So since no one is guessing, I'm just going to give the answer, but it's about 6.95 million. And really, for about a 3-year period, it was about 7 million. 7 million tourists. So think about that. They're estimating this year we'll have 9 million tourists. And, you know, we've had the pandemic going on. Oh, yeah, it's getting nice now because the sun has gone behind a cloud. Look at this. We've had the pandemic. And you're still going to get, now granted it's an incomplete year, but 9 million. Now in 95, 7 million. So when I came over here before, there were far less tourists. You know, far less. And you didn't have the droves of Chinese, you didn't have the droves of Indians, Russians. So, you know, that was something that, to me, looking back, I remember, yeah, you know, it wasn't like there were so many tourists everywhere. Now, I hate to say this, but, you know, Thailand is overdone. The market is saturated. Now, the good thing about Thailand is that it's big enough to be able to accommodate a large number of tourists if they do it right. And it's also big enough and has enough natural resources so that people don't necessarily get tired of being in one place. I mean, you know, I'm trying to think of places to go, and I'm like, okay, well, where haven't I gone? Well, there's a few hiking trails I haven't gone that I want to go on. There's the Lao boat, the boat from Chiang Mai to Lao, I haven't done. There's a few things that, you know, I still really would like to do that I look into, and when I start looking at it, I go, I completely forgot about that. And the good thing is that the infrastructure is much better now than it was in, say, 95, when there was no SkyTrain, there was no MRT, which I've said before. And generally, overall, it wasn't as good as it is now. And now, you know, with the addition of the electric boats, and they're really trying to make an effort to connect with, every line connects with something. So, you know, the other day when I was in the Andy, or what was his name? Andy and Chris's coffee shop, the IDK, I don't know coffee shop. Now, I had planned on coming by public transportation, but, you know, I just figured it out, and I thought, listen, for an extra 100, 150 baht, I don't have to think about getting there. I don't have to think about how long is it going to take me. Am I going to have to wait 10 minutes for a train? What am I going to do? So I decided to take a taxi. And you know, I took the taxi there, but on the way back I thought, no, you know what? I got plenty of time. As much as I might dislike walking from place to place in the hot sun and all that, I thought, you know, I'll take the SkyTrain. And then I realized I had walked a little bit too far, and the SkyTrain was like kind of off to the right in a different direction. And then I just kept walking a little bit. I walked for about 15 minutes. And I thought, if I keep walking, I'll run into the MRT. I'll take the MRT and go right to Lot Prow Road. Then if I want, I can take a taxi home, a motorbike home. I can take a bus home. I can take the boat right to the Mall Bangkok. I can do whatever I want. And, you know, I'm walking along, I see a bus stop. And I'm like, oh, you know, I remember that once I took a bus to Mahanakhon Tower, the Sky Tower. And I thought, I wonder if one of these buses, it's right down the street. I wonder if there's one of these buses. And sure enough, I found a couple of buses. And I thought, well, I'll just wait a few minutes. And about 10 minutes later, bus number 514 came. I get in it. It's air conditioned. It was 25 baht, which has gone up from 20 baht. All the prices have gone up a little bit in recent times. I took the bus. It dropped me off right at Happy Land. From Happy Land, I walked over and took a Songtao home. Now, I lived in Seattle. And I'll tell you, I do remember taking like a monorail or something like that. But for the most part, I was only there for a month. I took the bus around or I walked because I lived in an area where I could walk. But that gives you an idea. And if you look around the United States, I mean, yeah, there's some decent infrastructure in some of the cities, but not like it is here. So that's another thing that has changed and is much better than, say, in 1995. So, you know, maybe that's one of the reasons why, besides what's going on in America and all that other kind of stuff, is that Thailand has been progressing, and I've seen it progress, and I like what I see. That's the thing. In America, I don't like what I see. And I think it's going to be, if it ever gets back to where it was before, it's going to take time to get back. And, you know, listen, I'm almost 60 years old. I'll be 60 in 2 months. So in 10 years, I'll be 70 years old. There's a chance I won't make it to 70. You know, who knows? So do I really want to take a chance on that? It's like, you know, do I want to wait 7 years to get citizenship in Thailand? No, I don't want to. I really don't. I don't care about it. You know, that's why. That's one of the reasons. But and also the cost. It's very expensive to do it the way that I would have to do it. So, you know, that's another thing. Now, one of the other things, and we've talked about this before, is that, you know, the ability to get a visa has drastically changed from back, say, 30 years ago. Because it used to be that there were, and, you know, people still remember, it wasn't that long ago when this changed, when people could come in on a tourist visa and they would stay, they would get an extension, and that's what they would do. They would just come in, they'd get a little tourist visa, or they wouldn't have any visa at all. They'd just come in for 30 days, they'd extend it. After 60 days, they cross the border, do a border run, come back. Now, I've done that, and it's a pain in the ass. I don't know why anybody would willingly do that for a long period of time. Yeah, they're changing it, and or they've already changed it, and I don't remember when it goes into effect or when it went into effect. But yeah, I remembered vaguely they were talking about that, and I think that's a good thing because, you know, people want to stay longer. And here it is. You got people, they're staying 30 days and they want to stay longer. Okay, well, you can extend. But even that's a little bit of a pain in it. Oh, I got to go to immigration. Shit. Who wants to go to immigration? Do it online. That's one thing. But if you give you 45 days, it's like, listen, how long do you want to stay here? If you're staying longer than 6 weeks, that's like you're living here. So I understand why they changed the visa system to not allow tourists. And you know, you remember I got into it with a couple of guys. They refused. They just wanted to stay on a tourist visa. Now, I don't know if it was a financial thing. They didn't have the money. They didn't, you know, I mean, you can always go to an agent. You can always do all kinds of things. In fact, when I first came here, I used to get a tourist visa for a year, which would give you 15 months. And I got it through an agent. And it was right inside of Nana Plaza. If you go into Nana Plaza and as soon as you can take a left, you take a left. There's some short little stairs. You go up the stairs and then you kind of veer a little bit to the left and go straight. There was a little office there. Some people might remember it. There was a little tiny office. You go in, you give the guy your passport. And what they did was they physically ran just stacks of passports. They would run them across the border. They'd bring them back and you're good to go. And it was legit. You know, and those were the days when it was very simple to do things. You wanted to get stuff done, you did it, and it wasn't about, you know, you had to have $500 or $1,000 to get something done. A lot of times it was just, you know, $200 or whatever. Which brings me to another subject. The Overstay. A few years ago, the Overstay went up from 200 baht a day to 500 baht a day. And, you know, there's really no reason to overstay, but that's one fee that's gone up. And I don't remember, I was trying to find out, I did 7 weeks, extended for 30 days. I was trying to find out when the marriage visa requirement went from 20,000 and 200,000 or 200,000 to 40,000 or 400,000. I was trying to find that out. I couldn't figure it out. As long as I've known, it's been 400,000, but I know it was 200,000 before. And retirement was also at one point, many years ago, the retirement visa was you had to show 200,000 baht. And I don't know if it was 20,000 a month or not, but then it went up to 40 and 400, and then it went up to 80 or 65. Maybe it wasn't 40. Maybe they didn't have it. I don't remember. You know, the years have gone by, but now it's what, 65,000 a month and 800,000 in the bank. So, you know, that's changed, and some people have a hard-on for Thailand now because it's not easy. But I guarantee you that every place that is really easy to get into and stay for a long period of time, once they become saturated with foreigners, they're going to make it more difficult. When they realize, hey, we've got this many people, well, we can't just keep taking this many people in every year. They're going to make it more expensive so less people can come in. And I don't remember who it was who said, you know, everybody's going to Vietnam. Now, everybody is not going to Vietnam. There are a lot of people going to Vietnam, but there are still a lot of people coming to Thailand, a lot of people going to the Philippines, and some people are going to South America. Some people are going to, like I said, Ecuador, Portugal, in Europe. They're finding alternatives. Vietnam is a good place, and I actually thought, wow, I wonder if I could live here, you know. Now, if you got a family, obviously there are other considerations. If you don't have a family, or your wife is game and she wants to, you know, or your girlfriend or whatever it is, wants to go there with you, I think it could be a good place to live. The only thing is, first of all, they don't have a retirement visa. Second of all, you're doing everything through an agent, which I think is a good thing. I don't know. There's something. Maybe it's the communism. Maybe it's the government itself. Maybe it's the possible volatility. Not that it's not volatile here. There's a lot of potential for volatility here in the government, and that has not changed from when I first came over here. So while I would say I would do, like, if I were single, or my wife was like, you know, okay, yeah, let's go live in Vietnam. We can have a good life there or something. I would, well, that's a little different than it was, say, 2 years ago, Andy. Because when I was there, I could have got a business visa for like a year and it would have been very easy. But you got to use the agent, but they make it a lot easier. You just got to pay. And that's the thing. These countries got to remember, listen, you want to make it difficult because you just want to be difficult and you want to be xenophobic, or do you want to make money? Which one are you in it for? And I think, you know, I don't know, sometimes Thailand crosses that line. Yeah, I don't know. I have to really think about that. It's a good thought there. But, you know, what do they want? Do they want, you know, Thailand says, oh, we want the tourists with the big money. Well, if you make, I can tell you right now that their thing about the 10-year visa and the digital nomad, people, there's only a small number of people that are going to bite on that. And there's only going to be a small number that are going to qualify that want to come here. Why? If you remember, Chiang Mai used to be the hot spot for digital nomads. Now, it might still be a little bit, I don't know. And Thailand has a lot of the, what is considered the best cities in the world for people to live, which is like Chiang Mai, Pattaya, Phuket, Bangkok. And another one that was surprising was Krabi. That's considered one of the best places to live, at least in Southeast Asia. So, you know, now what else here do I have on my list? I start talking, I get distracted and I don't remember. Okay, so from 7 million tourists to 30 to 40 visas, the 1 year. Okay, now, obviously, for some people, the income affidavit, you know, that was eliminated, I think, about 3 or 4 years ago with the U.S., and I forget who else, but Americans can no longer just get an income affidavit and then get their retirement visa, which, you know, whatever. I understand, but, you know, that caused a bit of headaches, a few headaches with people. So I understand why some people are pissed off. But if you remember, I used to talk to people and they go, oh, I don't want to get another visa. Yeah, but nobody cares what you want. The government cares. That's it. It's simple. It's cut and dry. And, you know, I don't mean to sound like a prick about it, but that's just how it is. It's like the law. In some cases, it's like, okay, you are getting a mandatory 3 years. Then you're going to get to 3 years. Now, you might get good time or something like that, but you're going to get sentenced for at least 3 years, unless there's some loophole. It's the same thing. If they say, you're here on a tourist visa, you've come and gone 5 times this year, next time, you're not going to get let in. You need to get the proper visa. You're not on a proper visa, even if you're on a tourist visa. You know why you're not on a proper visa? Because they told you so. And that's all that matters. Now, you might be able to bypass that. Soy Dog Cowboy, what's happening? You might be able to bypass that. But, you know, this is the way that it is. So that's kind of changed over the years. You got any plans to come over here yet? Have you finalized anything? You know, I was curious to know when the Sansa Canal started being used. Speaking of visas, you're not sure what visa you want to get or what? Well, I mean, I guess it depends on how long you want to stay. Oh, you don't want to get an 08 because of the insurance. A lot of people are like that now. Patia Bob was in here before. He didn't want to, I didn't even know, is the World Series going on? All I knew was you can't go to an embassy anymore? Why not? Why can't you go to an embassy? It's not closed, is it? Oh, you have to do it online. Oh, because of the COVID? Wow, that's crazy. Patia Bob, are you still worried about the OA thing? Wow, just new policy. That's crazy. So they're doing it online though. Well, maybe that's going to be a good thing in the future. I don't know. Maybe it'll be good now. I don't know. But yeah, anyway, I was curious to know about when they started using the Sansa. Oh, you're not? Okay. The Sansa Canal, which is very convenient, aside from the water being pretty stinky. You know, it's very convenient, and it connects up to, it's very close to like the BTS, the MRT. You can get to these places, and that's what the government is counting on. It started being used in 1990, so about 4 or 5 years before I first started coming. But I think it's a good thing. But you know, they've spent, I think I said this the other day, 45 billion baht on their infrastructure, on their travel infrastructure. So things just keep getting better here, and they've probably got 4 or 5 lines they're working on right now. And you know, they've got the electric boats. Now, when they start getting electric boats that run the whole length of every single canal, even the Chao Phraya, like they don't have any diesel, that's when this place, I think, will really take off. I think people will start recognize that. And if they can get some electric cars in play, that'd be good. All right, let me show you around here. It's quiet now. All the old ladies are gone. Even the Tai Chi ladies, they got their music on, and you know. But the aerobics ladies are gone. I don't know what kind of upgrades they've done here. I just don't know. I think they planted some trees, some more trees. And like I said, they've sodded some grass and started to. We're gonna take a walk around here in a minute. You know, and I have not talked about the bar scene. Yeah, well, they use natural gas on some of them, and those are quite a bit better. In fact, I think the one that I took the other day was natural gas. Janara, you don't want these ladies. They're not barista, and they're probably old enough to be your grandmother. I don't know, you might be into that kind of thing, gilfs. But you know, one thing I haven't really said anything about is the bar scene. When I first came here, I'll just give you, and of course my friends were telling me this, but if you wanted to bar find a girl, it was either, in some places, there was no bar find. In most places, it was 200 baht. Well, it's starting to become, slowly but surely. But, you know, back in the day, that's what the bar fines were. It was 200 baht. And the drinks were cheaper, too. Obviously. The drinks were, I mean, I still remember 50 baht drinks and stuff like that, 40 baht drinks, beers. You know, you go in with 100 baht, you get yourself a water and a beer, something like that, you know. Now try doing that. I don't even know because I haven't been into a go-go bar in years now. But I know it's considerably more expensive than, say, 80 baht, 60 baht. So, and the bar fines, I don't even know what they are now, but from what I understand, they're higher than 500 baht. They're not even 500 baht anymore. They're, say, 1,000 to even 1,500, depending on where you go. Oh, God. You can hear the birds and the birds and the bees. You can hear them. One of the other things that I forgot about, I don't know how I forgot about this. 2,000 baht. Wow. Well, you know, they used to have a thing where if it's before 12 o'clock, you got to pay more for the bar fine than if it's after 12 o'clock, because they don't want the whole bar being empty, you know. But the other thing is that, you know, back in the day, at the very least, girls were wearing, you know, skimpy shorts, but no top. In many cases, they were just butt-ass naked. So, you know, that could be good or bad, I guess, depending on the woman. But at least you get to see, you know, just what you're getting. I'll give you a tip. This is a very, you know, simple tip, but it's good. Don't ask a woman if she has a baby. If you say, you have baby? No, have baby. Because she might have a 5-year-old. To her, that's not a baby. Or, you know, a 10-year-old. That's not a baby. You know. Do you have a child? Do you have a son or a daughter? That way, hopefully they'll be honest and tell you. But if you ask them if they have a baby and the kid's not like a year or two old, and then you go, oh, she's got all these stretch marks. I thought, you know, what's up with that? I thought she didn't have a baby. Anyway, the whole naked thing, that was, you know, that was normal. And the clubs didn't close until a lot of times, anytime between 2 and 4. But there were a lot of places they would stay open until 4 o'clock in the morning. You go out at 4 o'clock in the morning on the street, or you go out at, say, 2 o'clock. They close up 2 o'clock. You go down to Terme or one of these other places. And there were a few places that would stay open all night till 6 o'clock in the morning. Terme was one of them. You know, yeah, but you're married, Andy. I'm talking about this for the guys who they're still going there, because that is something that's changed. I mean, the girls generally are a little more clad than they used to be. It used to get pretty crazy. You know, really, it really did get so wild when you got a bunch of naked chicks running around and you got horny guys with money. It's a little bit different than when you got girls that are clothed, you know, or they got their little, what do you call them? The little things that go on their nips. But anyway, things always change. So anyway, the bar scene has changed. Now, I'm not sure about what the deal is now. I've heard various things. Good morning, Jim. Good morning. I've heard various things. But in my day, you never, unless you were in like a soapy, you never, ever gave the money up before you did the deed. Before the girl came over, you did the deed, and she was, you know, getting dressed and leaving. You paid before. Never. Yes, I figured you know it, Bob. Thank you. You never paid before. Now, the soapies you had to pay before. Now, I don't know what the deal is now, because like I said, I haven't been in the scene, and I really don't care about it. I don't think I'd have the patience to hear, you know, where you come from, what's your name, one drink for me, you know, that kind of stuff. I just don't, you know, it's not my life anymore. It was fun while while it lasted. And, you know, it was a good time. And, you know, Longhorns just said, well, if you don't know what you're missing, then you'd really never know, you know, how it was. Well, it's true. But I can guarantee you, yeah, what, 2 years? Oh, God. I talked to Jono, I think it was yesterday, by the way. He's doing well, as always. Yeah, drinks were cheaper, bar fines, internet. I don't know what else. And also, PI, what? I thought you hadn't been to the PI, Bob. But yeah, I remember that. Well, actually, I think what it was you had to pay whatever the bar wanted, and if you wanted to give the girl any money, that was between you and her. But, you know, God, it's been so long now. I mean, really, I'm an old timer now. I don't remember that stuff all that well anymore. You know, after a while, the memories start to fade. You know, I remember a lot, but I don't remember everything. So, I think we could take a walk around here now. It's kind of quiet, peaceful. And I would say that I think it depends on the girl, man. I really think. Carlos, hey. Hello, America. I think it really depends on the girl, man. You know. Now, there may be some smart ones who are like, listen, I get enough drinks where I don't have to go. But you know what? And, you know, some guys are stupid enough, they just think, she's a good girl. You know, I'll give her some money. But for the most part, the bars want them to go. You know, the bars want the, yeah, that's the thing. They're they're a little short-handed now. Wow. Well, yeah, there you go. That's why I did that video the other day, the stream the other day. Let's take a walk around, ladies and gentlemen. And don't forget about the merch. Sweating around I guess I'm sweating around right here. Merch at AmericanInBangkok.com. You go to shop, and you can get a shirt, a hat, whatever. Pick it up, help support the channel. Click thumbs up. Subscribe, however you want to help. Look down in the description. Everything should be in the description. And, you know, there's some people that have been asking me, why don't you have the Bitcoin up anymore? Well, I put it back up. I put Bitcoin, let me think here. Bitcoin, Ethereum, which I've used a little bit. Litecoin, which I used to use quite a bit. And I think I have two new ones, Tether and Solona, which I've never used before. But supposedly those are the hot cryptocurrencies, a couple of the hot cryptocurrencies right now. So I figured I'd put them up. So anyway, those are up as well. They're in the description. So anybody gets the urge to send me some crypto, there you go. Let's take a walk around. Let's take a looky-loo. See what's going on in this place. You see this? This is what I mean. This is where I slip and break my neck with this water. Yeah, see, so it's really mushy right here. Mushy and muddy. Oh, see, that's a little better right there. See this? Very quiet now. Now, we were going to go down to the south in Suratani. We haven't really had, well, I say we, I always have time. I can go wherever I want, but the wife and the kids haven't had the time. And my wife's brother was put in a hospital a couple days ago. And so she flew down there to be at the hospital with him because he was pretty bad off. And so she just stayed there 2 nights and then flew back. But we both want to go down there and spend some time down there. We have some things we want to do. You see what I mean about the water? Sometimes I think they just flood the place and just, because it wasn't raining. It rained yesterday for a bit, but all right, let me get out of here. This is where some of the ladies do Tai Chi. And they have that guy who drew me and made me look like, the guy used to draw pictures for kids on little cards. And he drew a picture of me and I looked like Alfred Hitchcock. Oh my God. Good morning, everybody. Wadi, wadi. See, they're digging up stuff, putting stuff down. Lots of squirrels here. Squirrels are like tree rats to me. There's, oh, it's a bird. Get behind him. Where is he? There he is. Tree rat. Hey. Oh, it must be 8 o'clock. Oh, what am I saying? 8 o'clock. It's not 8 o'clock. It must be what? Let's see here. What is it? 10 o'clock? Must be 10 o'clock. Let's get out of the sun so I can read. Look at this though. It's so slippery. You got to be really careful. I just saw a video about Australia that said Australia is 95% empty. Only 5% populated. 5% of the country is populated. I don't know if that's true or not, but it's very interesting. And you know who sent me that? That would be Chucky. Chucky sent me that video. I guess day before yesterday or yesterday, I don't know. All right, I think we got the hellos out of the way. Hello, everybody. Now, let me see here. Chucky. Chucky still wants to go somewhere. We don't know where yet, though. I think when he comes over, we're going to talk about it. We're gonna take a little trip. a little trip somewhere. All right, here we are. This is the busy place. Yes, time for a coffee. Could use a coffee. Hung Nam. 2 baht. Is that what it is? Or is it something else? I love it when you're in the shade here. It's so great. Well, look at this. Look how busy it is before we get out there. Haven't seen any monitor lizards today. God, man, it's busy, yeah? Long gone. Oh, man. It is a Sunday, but man, it's busy. Let's go this way. Oh, here's my little coffee shop I used to go to all the time. They're open. Oh man, that smells good. Look at this here. It smells very good. Oh yeah. I don't bet you.
ต้องม.4 อะไรเครียดขนาดนั้นแล้วถ้าม.5 ม.6 ใครต่างก็ต้องเตรียมได้ครับ
Oh, this is the juice guy. Stephen, what you don't know is that I have my friendly face on today. So people want to be friendly to me. I'm not always a grumpy old bastard. I thought I could cut over here. Yeah, right up here. Oh. Here we go, right here. Let's go. Let's get out of here. Whew, hot. Is the guy there? Yeah, he's here. He's here. He's here, but there's no tables out. That kind of sucks. What'd they do? Take the tables away? It's all right. All but one wearing a mask. This one's not wearing a mask. She's not wearing a mask. There's a few people not wearing them, but most are. See, this lady over here is not wearing one. This one's not. This guy's not. My guy's not. Over here. สวัสดีครับกาแฟครับโอ้ยเหมือนเดิมก็เป็นโบราณ
ไปโบราณ
ครับ
ร้อน
ครับผม
ร้อนนะ
ครับผม
ใส่นี่ไปกินนี่
เอ่อ
ที่ร้านป่ะ
ก็อันนี้
โอเค
ก็เดิน
เอาเดิน
เดิน
นี่นะครับ เดินถ่ายวิดี
ครั
โอบ
ครับผม แต่นี่โอเคไหม
โอเค
ลูกค้าเยอะ
ลูกค้าก็โอเค
yeah okay
ครับหายไปไหนตั้งนานแล้ว
เป็น
เนี่ย
ฝรั่งไหมโอ้ไม่ได้ไปอยู่บ้าน
บ้านอ๋อ
ขี้เกียจ
มา
แต่มีฝรั่งมาไหมเคยมีไหม
ฝรั่งเหรอ ไม่ค่อยมี
no ฝรั่ง here
โควิดนี่ฝรั่งไม่มีเลย
only me
ใช่
I'm the only one
อ่า
that's good for me
20 บาท
ครับ
อ่า
โอเคครับ
ข
ครับ
อบคุณมากครับ
all right let's get out of here let's go stand somewhere out of the hot sun Jesus Christ it's hot I've been in that shade over there in the park and it's been fantastic, but whew, maybe I can just stir this up and drink it one-handed. Oh yeah, shade is very good here. What is this? I can't even read. I can't do anything right now. There's a table over here. I can use this table. Stand with this lady here. Oh yeah. I should have just sat with the guy. See if they freak out when I come over here. Over here for a second. All right, so what do we got here? Cup. Yes, cup. Has anyone asked you to stop streaming because they didn't want to be on camera? Other than that one guy on the Song Tao, no. Never, in fact, not once. Maybe when I was walking into the MRT before. Before I went into the MRT, I was walking in, this is a long time ago, and they asked me, hey, you know, no filming. And they do have like a no photography, no video policy there. It's posted. But I didn't see it at the time, so I didn't. And now, if I go in, you know, there are ways around it. You don't use a gimbal, you don't use a tripod. You just get your phone out, boom, shoot some quick footage, and you can get it. They're not going to say anything about that. But once they see the tripod, they get a little bit nervous, you know. But other than that, No, nobody's ever said to me, oh, you can't stream, you can't do that. Just that one guy who wanted to be, you know, Mr. White Knight. Everybody here doesn't want you filming them. Nobody said a freaking word. Oh, God. Yeah, I don't care what, yeah, IDK. IDK. I'm gonna have to start saying that all the time. IDK. IDK, cafe. IDK, cafe. If you forget where it is, you just remember, I don't know. It's pretty good when you think about it. Subliminal thing. Now, I will say this, it's not like I'm standing next to a bunch of women here. I wouldn't just start filming them. Like just point the camera at them and start filming without saying something. Thank you. Okay, all right. So I can sit down here. It's good. I will point it. They got their little table full of food. She's got the ice. What if they're Tai Chi ladies? The Tai Chi ladies, they loved me. What are you talking about? Those Tai Chi ladies loved me. Don't you remember the ha-ha ladies? Well, I mean, listen, nowadays, it's, you know, if I was to come out with a big camera, like a professional grade camera, I'm not talking about a GoPro, I'm talking about, you know, something like filming for the news. Okay, I could understand. It's kind of like, hey, what are you doing? At least you can ask, hey, what are you doing? Why are you filming me? And, you know, I had a girl at Lumpini Stadium start photographing me, and I go, hey, what are you doing? She goes, I just want to take a picture of you. I like your face. And I went, okay, sweet talking me. And that was many years ago. But, you know, as somebody who's worked as a photographer, I kind of understood, and I went, all right, you know. As long as she's not putting it up on, you know, like some hemorrhoid advertisement or something like that, you know, or some dick enlargement. I don't know why I'm thinking of all these things, but, you know, she didn't put me up in something like that, you know, like, have you got, Depends? Do you need Depends? I mean, it's been my experience that most of the people don't have a problem with me streaming anywhere. In Singapore, they're not so friendly about the filming. In Indonesia, they tend to be pretty easygoing and pretty friendly. But every once in a while, you get somebody who's not. In Singapore, more so. Like Myanmar, they don't have a problem with it really. You know, some might go like, and then you know, okay, sorry, you know. Cambodia, really don't have a problem. Preo doesn't call you anything. Jesus Christ. I don't, you know, if you came in and said, I'm a friend of Mr. Scott, you would not be the first person who's done that. Seriously. They're well aware of what the deal is. Especially Beer. She's the one who really knows. And Tian is long gone now, so. sometimes I think they just, you know, that might be it. But sometimes I think they, you know, like there are places that have asked me to take my picture when I buy something, and you know, I always say yes, but I don't care. But I think it's not. I don't know if they're getting a commission. I think it's that it provides that international flavor to their product, whatever it is. Well, I can tell you that probably the most photographic place that I've ever been in like 50 countries that I've been to is Bangladesh. But by a mile. I mean, really, by 10 miles. Bangladesh is by far the place where they wanted selfies. They wanted all kinds of things. You know, they wanted to know, are you shooting video? Oh, selfie, you know. Chuck and I went there, and, you know, that was the place, man. They went nuts. I mean, it was like, if I started walking somewhere, there would be a row of probably 25 people, 50 people. Selfie. Oh, okay. You start walking away, they start following you. By far, that is the easiest place to, you know, I like Bangladesh. I just don't know. I've been there now. You know, I don't know. I'd want to go to Cox's Bazar and also to the Sundarbans. So there is a reason for me to go back, but, you know, it's just, I'm getting old, man. You know, I don't want to travel as often. I want to make each trip a little more worthwhile. So, you know, that's something to think about. I want a higher quality trip. Not that I haven't been on some before, but I just want to make sure I get the most out of each trip. Because, you know, nowadays you don't know, it might be your last trip for a couple of years, you know. I knew I was going to get some smart remark about that. It's Cox as in C-O-X-S. And it's the biggest, like one of the biggest slums in the world. And it's a huge, it's also a bazaar, it's a town, it's whatever, you know. But it is quite a distance from where the hell did we go? I don't even remember where we went. Where we go? And what's the capital of Bangladesh? I'm blanking out right now. Dakar. Or Dhaka. Dhaka, I think is what it is. Was it Dakar or Dhaka? I thought it was Dhaka. Either way, that's where we went. We went to the capital. And it was, you know, it was definitely an experience. And, you know, I went to their slum area, and it makes, what the hell's the name of the place? Klang Tui. It makes Klang Tui look like a nice place, you know. Yes, that was it, Nepal. I wasn't very nice to that lady, and I felt kind of bad afterwards, but all she did was just say, money, 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 money. She did it to me for 10 times. It's money, money. I'm like, do you have anything else? Can you say hello? No, money. And finally I went, my wife will kill me if I give you any money. I also felt a little bad about I knew the girl was ripping me off for the bracelets, but it was like $2, and I was like, no. I knew she was ripping me off because I knew the price. And she was cool, though. She was cool. I like Nepal a lot. well, I shouldn't say this, but if there's a place that I wanted to go to kind of disappear from mainstream life, Nepal would be one of the places to go. Because it's not like everything is in your face like it is here. You go here and it's like everybody's on their phones and everything like that. And while they are on their phones there, it's much more spread out. Even when you're in a city, it was like, I just got the impression that the people weren't nearly as aggressive as, that's another thing that has changed. When I used to go to the tourist areas of Thailand when I first got here, all right, they could be a little aggressive. It could be, hey, hello, my friend. It was that kind of thing. Now it's like they get pissed off if you don't buy something. You look at something and don't buy something. Some people get pissed off. And it's like, hey, don't get pissed at me. I'm not obligated to buy anything from you. Just because I look doesn't mean I have to buy. And I found myself several times. In the past, it was very easy. Yeah, we went to Kathmandu. We went up into the mountains, which was actually probably the highlight of the trip, was going up into the mountains where we could see, the Annapurna Range. Is that what it was? And it was really hard to get photos because you're on a cliff. It was one of those things where, like, do I want to die to get this picture? No. And I had a long lens. I had to shoot over the tree branches. It was very difficult, Vietnam is a bit more difficult than Nepal. Nepal is a piece of cake to barter, man. You tell the people no, and they just go, okay. Like we're here, they're like, oh, Mike, come on, yeah. They might bridge up a little. Now, the tourist areas, what I've found is that in some cases, the tourist areas in Thailand have changed dramatically from how they used to be. It didn't used to be, all about gimme, 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 you buy, you buy, you buy, you buy. It's more commercial. And that's to be expected. And maybe that'll happen in Kathmandu, but I found the people to be fabulous. If you're like, no, thank you, that'd be it. They wouldn't follow you down the road tugging at your shoulder. They wouldn't like, oh, come on, man. You didn't get a bad attitude. I love Nepal. Actually, I love Vietnam, but I would say I actually would prefer to go to Nepal than Vietnam. So, that should tell you something. Hey, don't forget to click the like button, to subscribe, to look down in the description, get yourself a shirt. I got many shirts. I got a bunch of hats. I don't know why, but the mugs, I haven't put them up yet. I just have to make sure they're all okay and everything's set up, but the mugs will go up soon. And the Super Chat works, the CASHAPP works, what else works? The PayPal still works until October, and in October, your business PayPals will no longer work unless you set up a business in Thailand, which I am not going to do. But I believe your personal accounts will. I do believe Myanmar is now open, but I should ask Nanda. I sent him a message, I don't know, it was about a month ago. He seems to be doing okay because of the internal or the domestic tourism. He's doing all right. With Myanmar, doing all right it's all relative, They got it pretty tough there if you've been there. It's not the kind of place where you're very comfortable all the time, where this is not like where you walk outside and it's cool out, you put a little jacket on. I'm sure it has. I like that shirt too. I really like that shirt. I like it more than the Bar Girl Lives Matter. Yeah, I want, that's the thing, how many places can I go? I don't have enough money to go everywhere I want to go. And I'm not just saying that, it's the truth. I just don't have enough. It's if I went to every place that I want, first of all, I'd be constantly traveling. Now, once my wife stops working and the kids are out of school, and you know, maybe we'll do that. I don't know. Maybe we'll travel for a while. I don't know. But for right now, I figured it out, and it was like even last year or this year, I've traveled to I've took like 4 or 5 trips throughout Thailand, and last year I took like 5 or 6. And you know, then in 2019 I was in, where was I? I was in, I think I was in Vietnam, and I was in Hong Kong, and I don't know where else other than that. But so anyway, you know, the changes, I think some of the changes are intangible that have happened in Thailand. You know, the people are a bit more modern. It used to be that I had some friends that were IT specialists. They could get a visa very easily. Now they have to go under different titles because they can't get in as an IT consultant or specialist. It's, you know. I mean, you know, the best bargain, it's all relative, man. It's, do you want to take a train? Do you mind taking a bus? You want to go low end? How far do you want to go? The farther you go away, generally, you know, the travel costs to be more. But there's always places for you. I mean, I don't know. Let me think about that, Jim. Let me think about it, and I'll send you a message. Because I could map it out, you know, do a little circle. That's what I do. Most of the time, that's how I research things. She wants to go to Vang Vieng. Well, I don't know what, if you're pinching your pennies, I don't know how much a little bit is, because you're looking probably for 2 people. I'm going to say at least 15,000 to 20,000. I'm going to say at least 15. That's 7,500 each. That includes hotel, transportation, visas. She doesn't need one, but you're going to need one. It might not be that much, but I don't know. It depends on just how, you know, food's going to cost you a little bit there, how many days you stay, and that kind of stuff. I mean, I wouldn't, holy shit, man. I wouldn't take a trip there for less than about 4 days, 4 nights. Well, that doesn't matter. I never worry about that shit. The only problem now is that they don't add pages to your passport anymore. Best beer and fried rice I have had is in Laos. Well, I will say that the worst pizza I've ever had in my life was in Laos. There was a time when, many years ago, I wanted to go find an opium den. And that was when it was just really starting to end, the opium dens. It was like the last opium dens. I was trying to get in there and do an article on it. You know, I probably would have indulged, but I wanted to do an article on it and do everything, but it was just so, it was such a pain in the ass, and you really had to worry about going to jail and being set up and going to jail, so I didn't do it. Oh, well, yeah, if you're doing that, then you just have to get a new passport, you know? Yeah, well, you can't go wrong with that, you know? Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai, it's always nice there. You know, we want to go back to I forget where the hell she wants to go, Chiang Dao or something. And I want to go from Chiang Mai to Laos by the boat. For videos, basically for video footage, do a little video. There's also the opium trail, which is no longer used. I just don't know if I want to do it with my hip, because in all honesty, that last trek that I took with my wife and where I went kayaking, which I have not forgotten about. That was a rough trek, man. For my hip, it was rough. And I got to be careful, you know, because one slip and that's it. I forget where it was, but not long ago, somebody went kayaking that same route that I went. And they drowned. So it is dangerous. I mean, I kind of knew that, but the real problem for me with I'd love to go down a river. I really would love to go down some river, and I mean, even like a week-long trip. But I'd really like to do it with somebody like Longhorns. You know, he's got a very sensible sense of adventure, and me, I don't. Although I am starting to have one now because I know my limitations now. Far more limited than I was a couple years ago. Anyway, let me see something. I haven't got one super chat today. I'm surprised, honestly. Not that I'm pushing, but I'm a little surprised. Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, you're in. Okay. Yeah, I gotta figure. I'd like to figure that out, though. I really would like to do something down the Mekong. I still want to do that. Scott Mountain's bullshit trip, baby. Fucking idiot. Oh God. You know, if there's a way to do it, I want to do it. And you know, the thing is, my wife wants to get involved a little bit more now, but she can only take so much time off, and she doesn't want to. Like I asked her, you want to go on the trip to Laos? You know, and she's like, no, I don't want to do that. She's not into that. She's not into the whole roughing it, third world kind of stuff. She'll do some glamping. You know, she'll stay in a guest house or something like that. But I think when you get to like, okay, you know, we're gonna rough it and get stinky. Something is wrong with PayPal, Scott. Every time I super chat, it folds up my card. Not sure why. Ask Bank, they don't know either. Yeah, I don't know, man. I got no idea. PayPal's got some issues now. I have a feeling PayPal is, I don't want to say they're on their way out, but they have lost a huge market share to places like the CASHAPP. The CASHAPP to me is far better than PayPal. No, there are some Mekong boat tours, Jim, that are not that expensive. I've looked into it. You can find some that are reasonably priced, but those are not the ones I'm talking about. I'm talking about you got to hang out for a couple days and find some guy, negotiate a price with him, and you know, listen, I'll give you a third right now. I'll give you a third when we get halfway there, and I'll give you a third when we get there. That kind of thing. And you know, I just don't have the money to do that because these guys, you know, they know you. Oh well, you got big money. To them, it's big money. Yeah, I mean, okay, that's great and everything, and I'm all for that. I've done some boat trips. I did one, you know. I've done a couple, but I'm talking about more like a longer term thing, you know. I think actually maybe Cambodia would be a better place to do something like that than Thailand. I don't know. I got to think about it because I can't do everything at once. I'm trying to do the videos and streams every week and, you know, at least 3 a week. And, you know, I'm busier now with my kids because they got all kinds of stuff going on and, you know. Nope, nobody here's got nobody. No. I don't want a group of people. I don't want a group of people. That's the whole thing. I replaced my debit card when damaged. Kept same number with new one. PayPal's not working since. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what their deal is. You know. They're a little disappointing to me now. PayPal. They, you know, in the beginning they were kind of screwed up. and then they kind of got it together, and they've been good for a long time, and now they're starting to drop off. They're losing their market share between Zelle, Apple Pay, Transferwise or Wise, and Cash App. I can't get Venmo for some reason. I don't know why. And I don't use Zoom. You know, there's enough services out there where, I mean, if anybody ever really wants to contribute, all you got to do is send a Transferwise, and then find the transactions have been blocked. Really? Wow. Yeah, that's strange to me. I don't know, man. I don't know about the super chats all that much. I don't know why they would block them. You know, I've got super chats the last couple of weeks. But I think a lot of times, you know, for most people, it's about convenience. Like for me, what's convenient is the most convenient thing is the Cash App. I don't know why, but it's always. I mean, if I get, let's say that I got $100 in there, and I go, okay, I want to transfer $50 out. That money's in my bank account in seconds. Same goes with Apple Pay, but it costs a couple of percent, or like 1.5% or something by the time it's all done. PayPal is anywhere from 3 to like 8%, depending on who sends it. Super Chat is 30%. Patreon works out to about 10%. So, you know. But if you're looking just to transfer money from person to person, or for, you know, to yourself, that's another reason why you get a bank account here in Thailand. So if I wanted, I was looking into the Social Security. You can get Social Security in the United States. You just keep your bank account in the US. You don't tell them you're moving, you're leaving. You don't have to tell them anything. You got an address, you got some P.O. box or whatever it might be, somebody's home address that you're using. And you just transfer the money by Transferwise or D-Money or one of these other services, Zoom. Very simple, you know. So there's so many options out there now. If I didn't have a Thai bank account, how would you transfer money from the U.S.? I would take money out with my ATM card. Thank you, Andy. Thank you. You're a gem. You're a gem. I was worried that if I super chat, for instance, it may not go through. Well, if it doesn't go through, it doesn't go through. I mean, that's how I look at it. Up to you. I had a Thai bank account from the second trip that I came here. If anybody remembers, there used to be a Thai military bank, and there used to be an exchange, which I don't remember what exchange it was. It was right, if you know the Landmark Hotel, and I don't remember, is it the Huntsman? Yeah, Sabai, my Penrai. This girl is like staring at me, this little girl. You know, they're on Sukhumvit. If you're coming from Nana, you walk up towards, you know, like Aso, but on the right side. Landmark is on the right side, and you walk up. You walk down a ways, and on the right side, there used to be a Thai military bank. That's where I opened my first account. I didn't live there, didn't have an address in Thailand, didn't have to do anything. Just I put in like 10,000 baht, left it there. And then I transferred, when I got ready to leave, I transferred, I don't know what it was, 150,000 or something, so that I had money in the account the whole time. I didn't have to worry about transferring money. And I've had that bank account, the Thai military bank account, since that second trip. And thank you, Mr. Gennaro. Listen, all this thank you very much. I appreciate it. And I will say it again. You don't see me. One thing I want you guys to remember, and I know you probably know it already, but I'm going to say it anyway. But, you know, you don't see me. I'm not staying in 5-star places. I'm not, you know, pissing my money away on 304s, which I just learned. If you know what a 304 is, it's an HOE. The little girl's just staring at me. Has anybody heard that phrase, 304? Because I just heard it. I never knew what it was, but it's, I guess if you turn it around or you look at a mirror, 304 in a mirror, it says ho. I'm not pissing the money away on that. If it's for anything, it's to cover travel expenses most of the time, to cover the trips. It helps this channel, so I appreciate it. I want to make sure that that's clear, because I know some people think, I just run off with the money and I don't do any of my trips or something like that. That seldom does that happen. And the times that it has happened, there have been good reasons for it. Like if you can't go down the river because the river's not deep enough, or elephants don't walk across the river and nobody's going down the river, then how am I going to go down the river? That's my fault for like thinking. Because when you see a river, you think, okay, can I go the length of the river? That's me, the way I think. I think maybe I can take a river all the way from start to finish. Hey, what's up? Waddi Kap, Waddi Kap. So Waddi Kap. There you go, all right. There you go. You want to see yourself? There you go. All right, thank you. So Waddi Kap. I have difficulties opening an account about 7-8 years ago. What? Finally, my brother-in-law, who was a branch manager at Bangkok Bank, got me an account. Well, Bangkok Bank tends to be one of the better banks all the way around. Well, they're always curious because they know what's up, man. It's the youngsters, the new generation that knows all about the, about the YouTube and technology and all that kind of stuff. I mean, I talk to my kids; they know more than I know about YouTube, and they're not even YouTubers. They're the ones who turn me on. Oh, do you ever hear of this guy? I'm like, no. Then I watch a guy, go, wow, this guy's fantastic. I forget, there was somebody that I found the other day. I can't remember their name. And I went, this guy's got 17 million subscribers. I'm like, holy shit, I've never heard of this guy before. And I don't remember, I think it was Nicholas. He was like, yeah, you see? You need to watch YouTube a little bit, because I don't watch it that much. If I do, it's like some little 2-minute clip, Or I'm watching TikTok because of Longhorns. Because Longhorns always sends the TikToks. And I refuse to get the TikTok app and put it on my phone. So, anyway. I gotta take trips, man. I gotta take a few trips. It's starting to nag at me. But maybe next month. I thought it would be this month. But I'm a little strapped this month. But next month I should be better off. And I don't know where I'm gonna go. Might be nice to take the trip to Laos. Just to get out of the country. These kids are just having a good old time. I was at a water park in about an hour, and all the kids were coming over to say, well, actually, that's something that I wanted to say, and I forgot all about it. Is that in the old days, it didn't matter where you were, pretty much. And I say the old days, this is 30 years ago, 28 years ago. In the old days, foreigners were a novelty. You go to a tourist area and people would be like, oh, where do you come from? And they still do that now, but it wasn't the same way as it is now. Now it's kind of like, it's just kind of like, I don't want to say obligation, because they're not obligated. But, they want to know because they want to know about the tourists. Back in the day, it was just like, oh, wow, where do you come from? They were just curious about you as a human being. Yeah, I mean, I can't tell you how many times. And Bangladesh is the place that I've experienced it the most. where, you know, like 50 people, you know, and Chuck as well, 50 people would be following us, 25 people would be following us, and we're like, oh my God, you know, and we would just stop, and then we're surrounded, completely surrounded by people, and they all wanted pictures to say hello, and, you know, and it's, at first it's a bit unnerving, but you get used to it. But here in Thailand, I still remember going through a market in Sisaket. I went to Sisaket, or was it Sagale? Sagale. I went to Sagale on one of the first trips I took over here. I went into a market, and this chick got me a hotel, and the people in the hotel had never had a foreigner stay with them. And the people in the market, I think most of them had never seen a foreigner, you know, in person right there. Because they were touching my skin. It was really strange. And that's why, like, Jono had told me, I don't know, a month or so ago, a couple of weeks ago, he had told me, he said, or maybe it was a couple of months ago, he had said, you know, it's a couple months ago, because he's not like that now, but he used to go, God, sometimes they're staring at me, and he's like, I feel like, what are you looking at? I want to tell him, what are you looking at? Stop looking at me, you know, because it can be unnerving when you got, you know, 20 people, they're all staring at you, and they're like, and then, you know, of course, if you say something like, oh, you know, Sawadee Kap, or you're up in Nissan, and you're like, Badi Ba, you know, you say something like that, then all of a sudden they're like, oh, wow. It breaks the ice, you know. Very cool. Let me see this here. You were a rock star, and hey, Carl, how you doing? Yeah, I was a rock star there. A rock star without the huge bank account. Villagers used to gather on the banks of the Mekong to see our boat come and go. Yeah, that happened to me when I went, God, that was one of my first trips too. Actually, that was what, I still might have a few days in Bangkok on our trip, but I changed my flight home from Ho Chi Minh. One of the first trips I took was, and I got a tour. I went to I just get a re-entry permit. I don't care, it's no big deal. Because I'm not traveling like I used to. I used to travel a lot, and so I always had a multiple entry. But now I don't nearly as much, especially with the way things are now. So, you know. I forgot what I was going to say. Oh, shit, I don't remember now. You're a rock star. All the villagers would run. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I took a tour. First I went to Chiang Mai. I stayed there for a day, 2 days. And the next day, early in the morning, I went to Chiang Rai. Then I went to Chiang Rai. We drove out to where there was some longtail boat, and me and about 4 other people took the boat, and we went to some, I don't even know where it was. I don't remember. It was so long ago. And we got off on this little pier, and there were elephants waiting for us to take us into the jungle. And there was a little store where you could buy like water and juice and stuff like that. So we did. But when we pulled up, like the whole village had emptied out, and they were all standing on the shore waiting for us to come in. And that was like really cool. I was like, holy shit, you know. And I'm sure that's how it is in parts of Africa as well, depending on the country. But I think probably damn near every country. Yeah, it was strange. You know, it's a strange feeling when you walk up and you're like, holy shit, you know, look at all these people here. And then we took the elephants and went out into the jungle. That took like 4 hours or something. and we settled down in some village huts, and then they came around with opium and, you know, wanted to know, did we want any, and, you know, did we want to smoke any with them, and that was an experience. And that was actually what got me, that's what got me thinking, hey, maybe I could live in this place. This is such an adventure. I need to live like, who doesn't want that kind of an adventure all their life? I mean, really. And I pretty much had it, but, you know, I'm more like, I'm not the traveler who keeps traveling nonstop around the world. I'm the one who goes to a place like Bangkok and uses it as a hub, and then I go to a couple places, then I come back, and then I go somewhere else, you know, and once in a while I'll use another place, like in the US, I've done that, where that was my hub for a couple of days, and then I went, well, when I went to the US and did that, I went to, in the Netherlands, I went to Guyana, Trinidad, I think Bahamas, and New York as well. And then another trip, I went to Nicaragua and Panama, and where the hell was I? I think it was Nicaragua and Panama. I did share the opium pipe with the chief, but I probably didn't wipe the pipe first. I blame them. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of the betel nut. Everybody who I've seen use it for a period of time ends up with no teeth, or super red teeth and no teeth. Now, something else that I'm going to do a video about this, and I think it's important, but I want to do something about using the kratom, or as they say in America, kratom. Everybody says kratom, the kratom. It's kratom. Is that there are some dangers to it. So as much as, you know, it can be good stuff, there are dangers just in using just about anything, especially if it's medicinal, even a plant. Just like, you know, if you're smoking weed, I would dare say if you're smoking weed every day and you're smoking like non-stop every day of your life, there's a chance you might get mouth cancer, lung cancer, something like that. Well, the lime is that, and the lime in that other, I forget what they put in it. I don't remember what's in the whole mixture. That acid is what eats away at their teeth. But apparently the kratom, extremely high levels of that can make your skin turn black, which was surprising to me, but apparently it's true. So be careful if you're using that stuff. Which is another reason why I'm anxious to go back to the property, because I want to see how the trees are doing there, the kratom trees, and all the other stuff. We have some plans, and I, you know, who knows what's going to happen. We'll find out in the coming years, but it'll be interesting. But be safe with that stuff, because yeah, it can be dangerous. I'll do a video on it. I'm going to do a video on it. Anyway, well, I'm about out of time here. I've gone for almost 2 hours, which I have said I'm not going. Well, I got nothing to worry about there, you know. Nobody bothers me when I go out. It's not like anybody bothers me here, but you know what it is? I'll tell you what it is. Here. When I go out, and you think about this, it's a big city. Anytime I go out, there's people everywhere. Masses of people. I got to be careful. I don't know, whether I have to be careful of the cars, I have to be careful of motorcycles, I have to be careful of people, I have to be careful of all kinds of stuff. So when I go there, it's like, first of all, there's very few cars in the area where we are. There's very few motorcycles, and if they are, it's sporadic. as far as the people go, I got really nothing to worry about. So, you know, that's why I like being out in places like that. But then after a while, it's like after, you know, 5 days, me and my wife are like, maybe we should go back home. Because the last time I went there, there were no coffee shops open. I couldn't even get a coffee, you know. So maybe I need to open a coffee shop down there. I don't know, but there was a coffee shop available. This little girl is like, look, she's trying to get her face in the picture. The kids are always funny. Well, I like doing this kind of stuff. I like doing this, but I also like doing stuff where I'm walking around, showing stuff, traveling around. I do like to travel. The problem is, like I said, you know, there may be a point in my life where I'll have enough money to where I can travel the majority of the time, as much as I want. I don't travel as much as I want now. But you know, listen, that's life, you know. I don't feel entitled to travel everywhere, every time, every minute that I want to travel. But I've done my fair share, and I'm happy with what I've done so far. If I was to die tomorrow, I'd be like, you know, I've had a hell of a life. You know, so right now it's all gravy. That's the way I look at it. And the good thing is that, you know, it does seem that at least some people like it when my wife is in the streams, at least a little bit, or the videos. And there will be a time in the next few years when she'll be in more of them. So that'll be nice that I get to do it with her. And the kids, who knows what they're doing? They're on their own. If they wanted to be on YouTube, they'd be on YouTube. But like, they barely go on social media, and I don't expect that to ever happen, you know. Yeah, she's great. She's good. She's good. I'm lucky, you know, in many regards. I'm lucky. She's not always the greatest when it comes to understanding at this point. She doesn't always understand what goes behind putting something together. You know, like she'll just go, "Let's go to this place," and I go, "Hey, you got to slow down. There's no time to shoot anything if you're not." You know, she's just walking, and she walks very, very fast. She's like Nanda. She walks super fast, man. She's got little feet, and she walks very fast. Where me, I take my sweet ass time. You know. And, you know, that can be, believe me, that's why in the past I've been like, okay, you know, if she doesn't go with me, it's a less hassle for me. But now I know, you know, a bit more about YouTube and about how things are done and what I need to do. And she's starting to catch on a bit. And she's, you know, as long as I explain to her, hey, this is what I want to do. I want to shoot this, and then we're going to go do this, and then we're going to shoot this, and then we're going to do that, and we're going to shoot that, and maybe you can do this. And she's starting to get that now. You know, it takes a while. She hasn't been doing it at all, so, you know, it'll take her a while, but... Oh, what did I do? I got kids running all around me. Anyway, thank you very much, guys. Appreciate it. Appreciate the watching, the conversation, and of course the contributions. I appreciate it. And hopefully I'll get something set up. Once I buy a ticket, whether it's on a train or bus or whatever, once I get something finalized, I will let you know. But in the next couple of weeks, I'll probably just be, you know, streaming, making videos, putting videos up. I still got a lot of footage. So, you know, Steven, good you could join us. Appreciate it. Jim, I will talk to you soon. I'll figure out what you're looking for. But if she wants to go to Laos, it's possible. But, you know, just like you said, you want to pinch your pennies. You want to watch your money. There's easy ways to get there, and then the harder ways to get there, which I think the harder ways you get to see a bit more. But the easier ways, generally, the more convenient ways cost more. So, Anyway, I will talk to you guys later.ขอจบก่อนดูแลตัวเอง which means we are finished. Take care of yourself, and I'm out of here. Kenny, now say goodbye, kids. See you guys later.